Good morning, peeps. Today we're going to do solving multi-step equations day 2. By now you should be decent at it. So it's the exact same thing as we did yesterday. So you can follow along with the video if you want to, if you don't feel like it, and you feel like you got a good concept of the sheet, you can just do it, okay? Make sure you show your work on every problem. I will not take it if it's not shown. Our steps still are going to be the same. So step 1 is going to be to combine like terms. Okay, step 2 is going to be to add or subtract the kid. And then step 3 is going to be multiply / divide, and this is what we call the breakup. Okay, before I forget, I will not be here tomorrow either. Tomorrow's going to be a quizzes. It's just going to be a review over 1-step, 2-step, and multi-step. When you're done, make sure you take that screenshot, and that's what you're going to post to Canvas. So we look and we say, well, is there anything for us to combine? Well, I got a -8 and a 3, and so I got -5x equals 20. Okay, and so we're going to add or subtract the kid. And we say, well, who's the kid? Well, they don't have one. Okay, and so then our next step is going to be to multiply or divide. So we say divide by -5. So I got x equals -4. Okay, and if I'm going too fast, pause the video, stop the video, okay? It's hard for me to tell how fast to go when it's just me here. Okay, look at 3. So we're going to combine our like terms. So we can combine these two n's because they both have the same last name at the end to give me 11n equals 0. Okay, and we add or subtract the kid. Well, there is no kid, so we can kind of skip that step. And then we say divide by 11. So we got n equals 0. Okay, looking at 5, same thing. We say, well, is there anything for us to combine? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is put a 1 in front of this R. Okay, so we can combine this -7 and this -5. So I got 1R, and it's going to be a -2 equals -6. Okay, we're going to add or subtract our kid, and in this case, our kid is 2. So we say +2 + 2. I got 1R equals -6 + 2, it's going to be -4. Okay, and then our last step is always that breakup, okay? And so we need to break this up. So when those two are right next to each other, that means multiply, so we need to divide. So I got R equals, and it's going to be -4. Okay, 7. We look at these and say, well, what can we combine? Well, I can combine this 3 and this 7 to give me a 10, and I still have this -2n equals 12. Okay, we need to add or subtract the kid, and in this case, the kid is 10, and we say, well, what kind of 10 is this? Well, it's a positive 10, so we're going to say -10, -10. All right, -2n equals 2. Okay, and then now we're ready for our breakup. So when two things are right next to each other like that, and that means multiply, so we need to divide. So we're saying divide by -2. So I got n equals, and it's going to be -1. Okay, looking at 9, we combine our like terms. So I got an 8 and a 5. It's going to be 13. I got 13b, and we're ready to add or subtract the kid. Okay, well, these guys, they don't have any kids. And so then our next step is going to be to divide. So I got b equals 0. Okay, looking at 11, we're gonna combine our like terms. And so we can combine this 8 and this 3 to give me 5b equals 5. Okay, we can add or subtract the kid. And so in this case, it's gonna be, there's no kid, so we're just gonna have to divide by 5. So we have b equals 1. Okay, 13, we're gonna combine like terms, so I got a -7 and a -3. It's gonna give me a -10, m equals 0. Okay, we're gonna add or subtract the kid. Well, there isn't a kid, so that's okay. So then we're gonna say divide by -10. So we got m equals, and it's gonna be 0. Okay, 15, we're gonna combine our like terms, and I can combine this -2 and this +3, and that's gonna give me a 1, and then I still have this -8b over here. Okay, well, what kind of 1 is that? It's a positive 1, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna add or subtract our kid. Well, it says +1, so we need to say -1. So I got -8b equals -7 minus 1 is gonna be -8. Okay, and then we are ready for that breakup. So we're gonna go ahead and divide by -8. Divide by -8. So I got b equals, and it's gonna be a positive 1. Okay, 17, we're going to combine our like terms. And so we can combine this 5 and this 2, and that's gonna give me a 3x. And then I still have this 2 over here. Okay, well, what kind of 3x is that then? Well, it's a +3. Okay, we're gonna add or subtract our kid. In this case, our kid is gonna be this 2. And we say, well, do we need to add this or plus this? And this is where you guys, some of you guys get all mixed up because there's no sign in front of here. Well, if there's no sign in front of something, it's just given that it's a positive. So it needs to say -2, -2. Okay, and which just makes me think, if you get something, because if we would say +2, then you'd end up with a 5 here, and then when you divide, it would be a fraction. If you get a fraction on these problems, you need to go back from step 1 and recheck your work, because something's not right. And if I had to guess, it would be something with your addition and subtraction. It would be at this first step, okay? Because your second step, if you're dividing, is right, okay? So it's either combining or that addition and subtraction. So make sure that you double check your work if you get a fraction. Okay, and then our last step is gonna be to divide by 3. So I got x equals -3. Okay, 19. We're gonna combine like terms. Okay, and I can put this 5 and this 2 together, and that's gonna give me a -3b equals 18. Okay, we're gonna add or subtract the kid. And in this case, there is no kid, and so then our last step is just gonna be to divide by -3. So I got b equals -6. Okay, 21. We're gonna combine our like terms. Okay, and so we can combine this 8 and this x, and it's really a 1x to give me 9x. And then I still have this 3 here. Okay, and this is a plus 9x. Okay, and so we need to add or subtract the kid. And so in this case, we're gonna subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, so I got 9x, -24 minus 3 is gonna be -27. Okay, and then we're gonna say divide by 9. Divide by 9. So I got x equals -3. Okay, 23, you're gonna combine like terms. And so for this, you're gonna get negative 16k equals 0. Okay, there is no kid, so we can just go ahead and divide. Okay, so I got k is gonna equal 0. Okay, 25, we're gonna combine like terms, so I can put the 7 and the 5 together. So a negative 7 and a negative 5 is gonna be 12. Yeah, negative 12 and equals negative 24. Okay, there's no kid, so we can just go ahead and divide. So I got n equals, and it's gonna be positive 2. Okay, 27, we're gonna combine like terms. So I can put this 5 and this 6 together to give me an 11, and then I still have this plus 7n. Okay, we need to add or subtract the kid. So we're gonna say minus 11, minus 11. So I got 7n, and that's gonna equal negative 21. And then our last step is gonna be to divide. We got n equals, and it's gonna be negative 3. Okay, if you have not figured out yet, your last step is always gonna be to divide, okay? The second step is the only thing that changes. The first step is always gonna be combine. Your second step is gonna be to add or subtract, and your third step is always gonna be to divide, okay? You may not have a second step, but if you do, then it's gonna be to add or subtract, okay? And then lastly, the 29, I got 8 plus 1n equals 8, and we're gonna subtract our kid. I got 1n equals 0. And I just want to show you, so I already know no matter what, my answer is going to be 0, not because it's 0, because you could put a 1 there, but a 1 in front of an n doesn't change anything, because when we say divided by 1, our answer is always going to be the same as what it was at this step, okay? And so I could put a 4 here. Well, 4 divided by 1 is still 4. Okay, I could put an 8 here. Well, 8 divided by 1 is still 8, okay? So anytime there's a 1n, or 1x or something, you can kind of just get rid of it and skip that step if you wanted to. Make sure you show all your work. You're going to do all of the other side, so all the evens. Tomorrow is going to be a quizzes. Make sure that when you're finished, you take that screenshot and put that on Canvas. If you guys need me, hit me up on the Remind app or on Canvas, and I will see you soon. Have a good weekend.